You ready?
Yep.
Okay, let me go live. Okay, we are live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to LashayVenturePodcast. I do have a special guest here with me. I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself.
I'm actor Kashmir Satchel Jarrett.
Okay, Mr. Kashmir, can you tell them how you got into this industry with acting?
Actually, I was in the industry of music first, and I'm 47, so I used to do
Wow.
Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony for a while, and then once this rolled into town, and I started doing it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to put the music on the back burner, and I'm kind of glad I'm dead because the way music going right now, yeah, I'm glad.
The industry a little funny, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
most definitely understand. So, how was it like transitioning over from music to acting?
Actually, that was pretty easy because performing in front of people, it's nerve-wracking. But when you're on camera, the people not watching you until they watch it on TV. So to me, it's much easier.
So, like, what's the difference? Like, can you explain it? Like, when you get on stage, like, was you nervous to do that, or it's like, okay, well, people just watching you on TV now. You was nervous to get on stage.
Yes, get on stage. Yeah, when you first start, I'm not even gonna say when you first start, but even when you get on
Mhm.
stage, period, and you have people in front of you, 10, 15, 20, 30, 100, how many other people is there?
A
You
lot
get
of
the
people.
butterflies and you get nervous, and then once you start rapping, singing, whatever, you get into a zone to where you don't even see people. That's the crazy part. I've had my friends at my shows, and they was like, "Man, we was in the front row trying to dap you up. Our hand was out." I'm like, "Bro, once you get into a zone, you don't even see them no more."
Yeah, true
And
story.
so on camera, it's just a camera. Like you have the producer and everybody back there watching you, but it's more personal. You're in the zone talking to somebody, and so I mean, every once in a while I get butterflies, but it's definitely not like stage, and you'll never be able to tell with me. People be like, how don't you get nervous on camera? I'm like, it's a camera. I'm talking to somebody at a camera. It's not people in front of me. They got to see it once it come out. So,
Yeah,
and
that's a
me being in
very
music stopped me. Me being in music stopped me from that's from basically being nervous on camera and really wanting to be the forefront of camera. So.
So would you say if you had to compare, which one would you like best between the acting and the music?
That's hard because music is my first love. I was doing that since I was maybe 13, 14 years old. But
Wow.
being on camera, I really feel like this what I was supposed to do. I think music was just an entrance into this because everybody always like, man, your personality, you need to be on TV. And that was before I was doing music. So I think music was just an entrance to it. It was the gateway drug to
To
TV.
get in. Yeah. You can say that. A lot. It's crazy because a lot of singers are acting. A lot of
Yeah.
people that's in the industry are acting. So yeah, it's probably like it was your transformation.
And then when you're an artist, you yourself, but you're also somebody else. So, I
Mhm.
mean, I can always transition on the TV. When you're acting, you're yourself, but you're somebody else. It's the same thing with music.
As well. Yeah, the same thing. It's definitely the same thing. So How do you feel now that you're in front of the camera and you're acting everything out? Like, do you feel like this was what you were supposed to do?
I definitely think this is what I was supposed to do. And I even go on crazy on posts and his DM and be like, man, I thank you for even giving me the opportunity to do music with you. First of all, they just got a
Mhm.
Hollywood Walk of Fame. So I can say I got music with somebody who on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and gonna be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I always thank him because I'm like, man, without him flying me down to Miami and me staying down there and doing music, I never would have gotten into acting. So
Wow. That's a blessing. That is a blessing. That was your gateway, and you still remain humble and you tell them thank you. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here today.
oh
That,
yeah,
that
definitely.
you remember who brought you. You never forget where you came from, as they say.
Right, right, right.
Because when you forget where you came from, you technically be thinking you're bigger than the program.
You lose yourself. A lot of people
Yeah,
lose themselves.
yeah,
I've
all
seen
the
it.
time.
I've got friends. I've seen people just lose themselves.
Yeah, because of money,
Yep,
the
and
love of
it's
money.
sometimes it's money. People can't even handle fame.
Therefore, a lot of people can't handle fame because when you get fame, it's so much that come behind it. You got they really in your business now. They if you sneeze too hard, like I told somebody, they in your business. They catching it on camera. Any little thing
Right.
that you do, they catching it on camera. And a lot of people, that's why a lot of people die out to drugs and everything else because
Hmm.
the industry is so it's bad. It's demonic.
Right.
It's a lot.
And I ain't never been on drugs in my life, so I know at this point it's no parties or nothing you can even tell me to come to. I'm like, bruh, if I ain't did it
Exactly.
all this time, it's not happening. Whatever you do, but I'm
Yeah.
cool with it.
Yeah. Because it's not gonna do nothing. It's just the ease, and it's just making it worse and worse. Because the more money they get, the more way they can get into access to drugs. That's why a lot of people, that's their downfall of the industry.
Yeah. Even if
That's
you're
the biggest
smoking weed,
downfall.
when you get money, you're
Yeah,
gonna smoke
exactly.
more weed.
Yeah. And you're gonna want to get high. You want to go to the next level of high, and it'll take you to the next level of high. I've seen people, regular people, family members I know that are just like they're not even famous, but they had to get higher. They left weed and went to something else. Cause eventually, and then just imagine if you got money, eventually you're gonna want to get higher. So you're gonna try to take it to the next level. If your mindset is not there, fame will hurt you. If your mindset is not there, the industry will hurt you. Cause
Right.
if they see any little weak spot, they're gonna get you.
I barely even drink.
Trying to tell you. For everybody that's just getting to know you, what would you tell them about yourself?
um, I'm an entertainer. I'm silly as hell. Anytime you see me, you're probably gonna be laughing, and I'm not even telling jokes. I'm just talking. I'm optimistic about everything, even the state of how people was like, "Oh, Marvel left Atlanta and they took everything with them." Man, I'm still optimistic about everything because that's just how I always been. I'm not a negative person. And then if you know if you know your talents and you're confident with yourself, then you're definitely gonna be optimistic. Most people that aren't optimistic are the people that's like, man, I don't know if I can do this. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying. When I hear those, I never use I'm trying or I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to be an actor or I'm trying to get to, I'm like, no, I'm acting, I'm gonna get to that level because you have
Yeah.
to speak it into existence.
Very serious and tuned in about your work. You know that you can do it. When you know that you can do it, you are consistency. You have a consistency with yourself, and you're hard on yourself because of the fact you know that you can do it.
Mm.
Pretty much. What was the very first role that made you think I can really do this in acting?
It wasn't even a role. It was background. That's how I knew I was
Wow.
interested in it. It wasn't even a role. I'm just in background, just looking, being a commentator in the scene. And I saw it was one of the Wayans brothers. And I'm like, man, I ain't never seen no actor before. Cause you don't see actors.
You
We
don't.
see rappers all the time, but we don't see actors at all. So I'm sitting there, my eyes like this. Ooh, that's Marlon. I said, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do right here. And after that, I just kept going. I knew it. The first day I was on a set as background, the very first day, I was like, yeah, this is dope. And it's a
So
lot
you
of people
know,
who started off with me who couldn't couldn't weather the storm.
so you know, in acting, you have your yays and your no's. How do you handle your rejection when you get that no? If you want to go and casting calls and you get that no, how do you handle the no with the yeses?
Well, I can't speak for nobody else, but for me,
Hmm.
man, I've been hearing no's all my life. So once you get used to hearing no's, hearing
It
another
don't
no,
matter.
you're like, oh, okay. That's just like I got a movie, a TV series that I'm in, and the dude was like, "Man, this about to be big." I was like, "Okay, cool." He was like, "Bro, you ain't excited?" I said, "Yeah, I am excited." He was like, "You don't show it." I said, "Because you hear so many no's, I don't even get excited until it actually happens. You can tell me I got
Exactly.
15 callbacks
Exactly.
from my audition. I'm gonna be like, cool. Oh yeah, that's cool. Until they hit me
But
and
when it
say
come
you
out,
got a role."
yeah. That's
So
me. That's me. I hear so many no's, or I hear things. When you hear so many things, until you see the work, the bottom work of it, and you actually see it, you like, all right, it's out. Now I can give y'all some, okay, a little bit of excitement. But I heard so many no's, it's like, all right, cool. Like, until I know that it's actually out, I'm gonna put it out there. Like,
and it's
yeah,
an industry. You're gonna hear
yeah,
no's. You're
all the
gonna hear
time.
no's. And I tell people all the time, like, it's an industry. You can't put your feelings into it. You're gonna hear no. You're gonna hear you're not a good actor. You're gonna hear that was
Mhm.
horrible. You might hear anything, and then that's just on the lower level. I said when you get to this level, they they got so much money into a movie, they don't even have time to be soft. They be like, look, yeah, it's not gonna work with you. You can't read, and let's get up out of here. And then people get to crying and get emotional. I'm like, bro, you know how many productions it is in the world? Like that one said no, that one said no, but it's a million other ones out here.
Exactly. Just because that person said no doesn't mean your opportunity is up. It's a lot of production companies out here. It's a lot of things out here. It's a lot of acting classes out here. It's a lot of opportunities out here. You got to take what you can make. It ain't gonna always be no yes. You ain't gonna walk into
Mhm,
the first one and they gonna say yes. I take you. No, because it's other people that's doing this. Gotta think it's a whole bunch of people in this world that's doing this.
mhm.
I talked
But
about this
what
yesterday. You gotta think about this. A lot of people in this industry that's doing this. What make you think that you're gonna go to one they're gonna say yes automatically when it's 100,000 other people that's auditioning for their role? Probably
right.
they might see something else in somebody else that they don't see in you, but you just gotta go with your head high. Okay, that was a no, let's go to the next, keep going. And a lot of
And
people stop when they hear no's. So yeah.
what people don't understand is they don't even know where the no came from. You upset,
Exactly.
you don't know where the no came from. You think it's how you performed. But what if you
Hmm.
did the best job and they thought you did the very best job? What if they say, man, this person is a A1 actor or actress, but we were looking for somebody with long hair?
Hmm.
They can't use you. People think it's a performance when sometimes it's just you don't fit the look. They have a look in their head. Now you can come in and do a real good job, and they say, "Look, we're gonna rewrite the whole thing because he was it." But most of the time, they're looking for a certain look. And if you're not that look, you can be the best actor they ever saw. It's not going to be you. So it's a lot of things that people got to learn as far as the business and the industry side, more than the reading the script and going on camera.
What is one role you played that changed your personality after filming wrapped up?
None really changed my personality, but I shot a scene and it was a fighting scene. And when they said cut, I'm like this. My homeboy was like, bruh, why are you still looking like that? And the scene was over with. I was like, bruh, because I was fully into the scene. When
Yeah.
you get fully into a scene, it's gonna linger afterwards. If you get into the scene and the role and be in that moment, it's gonna linger after. Now, what you gotta do as soon as he said that, I said, shook it off. You gotta go to the side and shake it off because the next scene you might have to laugh and smile. Now, if you was this the whole time, it's gonna
Man.
be hard to transition. So yeah, it never changed my personality as far as who I am every day. But that scene afterwards, because I was getting beat up. So afterwards, I'm like, my homeboy was like, yeah, you still in the scene. I was like, yeah.
What if you had to describe your acting in 3 words, what would it be? What would they be?
Physical,
Mm,
commanding, and
mm.
demand.
I can see the last two.
Hmm. Because when I'm
I
on
can,
screen, I want to command you to look at it. I'm demanding your presence.
yeah. I want you
Like
to
when you
watch
look
it.
at certain people on a movie, as soon as you see them, you're locked in. Like, yeah, I know. They make
Hmm.
you want to look at it.
Is there a role that you turned down that you have made it think twice about? Have you turned down any roles?
I've turned down roles, but it wasn't something I second guessed about. It was
I
just
mean, cause
something
you know
that
some
didn't go
people.
with my morals and beliefs. So I'm like, yeah, nah, there's no second guessing on that. I'm good with that.
Has that been a role that you have played that you didn't kind of like vibe with, or you was like, this ain't me?
Yeah, I've played a role that I probably should have said no to. Yeah, and I think everybody does that in the beginning when you're just trying to get your face out there and your name out there. You're gonna do a couple of roles you like, but now I pick and choose everything.
What is the biggest misconception that people have about actors?
Oh, easy. That we got money. That hey, everybody thinks I got, but I got homeboys like, boy, let me hold. I know you got it. I said, bro, I wish you came into this world and saw what it is, because I think
Mm,
they think we getting residuals from Tubi movies
mm,
and everything. I'm like, bro,
mm.
it's not like that. A
In
flat
reality,
fee,
I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes.
definitely don't.
And it's crazy because they be thinking it's the highest paid. But I've talked to
Mhm.
some, interviewed so many, and they was like, I still have a regular job outside of this. I still got to work,
Me too.
because this
But
acting thing.
I get the illusion because I probably would have thought the same thing before I started acting. If I saw somebody on TV I knew as an actor, I'd be like, oh, they made it. I would have thought the same thing too. But now that I'm in it, I'm like, yeah, ooh, that's all an illusion. That's all a facade. It's definitely not like that.
Yeah. If you could turn your life into a movie, what would it be titled?
Hmm.
And why would you title it that?
Let me see. The title might be like something like multiverse, and it'll have me. I would name it that because I'm so physical and silly. Like I can play a bunch of different things and put it in one movie. Like
Mm.
I would love to do how Eddie Murphy does in his movie.
He
I
play
swear,
everything.
I swear, because once you play a character, like you can play an acting character, that's cool,
Mhm.
that's great. But once you play a comedy person, and then you can do two or three or four of them, like that's so dope to me.
That's different.
Yeah.
That is very different. What is one piece of advice someone gave you that completely changed your career?
Um, I haven't gotten that much advice, but Clifton Powell, who plays Pinky on Friday, he
Love
just
him.
told me
Love
to he just told me to go research and read some books. And he told me a couple of books, and I went and got them and read them. And that was the best piece of advice he could tell me because I got to know him personally. And so he was like,
him.
bro, I ain't really got to tell you nothing about Hollywood. I see what type of person you are. I see, so I can tell you from the hood. I can tell you got good
Yeah.
sense. He was like, I can tell you don't drink. You look healthy. He said, I didn't even know you was 47. He said, man, I thought you maybe in your 30s. I was like, so he was like, I can't, the only advice I can give you is just to go to classes and research and stuff because I know Hollywood ain't gonna suck you in. I said, yeah, bro, I don't play none of that. And those books really help too. So
So if you could meet anyone in the industry, who would it be? Like, as in, like a what in your the industry that you're doing now for acting
All
that
I
you
can say is
haven't did?
Ice Cube, and I'm gonna say that because
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to be in the Last Friday or one of Cube movies. But everybody else I've met,
Mm-hmm.
interacted with, I just left Drewski's set for his new TV series
I
because I
love
was
him. He's so
right.
funny.
It's him and Mike Epps, and I'm Mike Epps double and stand in, and so
Mhm.
most of the people that I've, mostly everybody in the industry that I've ever wanted to meet, I've met and been with. I do a Capital One commercial every year with Samuel Jackson, not Michael Jordan, but Magic Johnson, Samuel Jackson, and Charles Barkley. So I'm with them every year. So Sam, know me by name. Taraji, I've taken her
I
acting
love
class.
her. I
I've
love
taken
her.
her acting class and been on set. So I've met everybody I've wanted to ever meet.
Okay. Okay. If you could give the child version of you advice, what would you give? What would you say?
Why didn't you start this journey a long, long time ago? And that's a question. The advice would be stay out of trouble.
Mm.
Stay out of trouble. I got in trouble a lot in school. So,
You was a
and it wasn't bad.
troublemaker.
Yeah, I was the class clown, and
I was just gonna say you was the class clown. You look like you was the class clown.
definitely was. Look, they had the, they got the thing at the end of the year when they put the funniest. When I didn't win, man, my school was like, man, y'all tripping. And people used to be like, man, why you ain't come to class yesterday? We was waiting on you to come to class. I was like, man, I acted up in another class. I was suspended. I spent I
You
spent the
was bad.
last two man, I spent the last 2 weeks of the end of the year in school suspension. I can hear
I know
kids
your
playing
mama
at
used
it. At the
to.
end of the year, you go to school, they don't teach you nothing because it's the end of like the last week of school. Man, I was
Yeah.
in school suspension. I can hear them going by, they banging on the door. I'm in there like, golly, how you spend the last day of school in school suspension?
I know your mama used to get you. Like what? Because I get my son because that's how he act the last weeks. I was
I
like,
didn't used to. The thing was, I didn't used to get caught because if in school suspension, they used to give you a letter to take home. I used to throw it away. And so, but once I finally I got caught. By the time she was mad at me, the assistant principal was like, "Yeah, you got to go to the YMCA on Campbellton Road and talk to the pastor." I was like, "Huh? I'm that bad?"
yeah, you that bad. They telling you to go talk to the pastor. You was that bad. You know you was. You just said 2 weeks before school, like in school suspension. Yes, you were that bad.
And the crazy thing is, it's still that way grown. Like I got a homegirl, and she when I do the game show, she was on set. She was like, "Hey, Cashmere, come on." She said, "Sit right here." I said, "Why?" She said, "All day long, you just doing stuff." She said, "Now this is not a bad thing." She said, "Your personality is off the chain." She said,
Yeah.
"I'm been looking at you all day." She was like, "You wonder why I'm putting you on the game show last?" She said, "I'm saving the best for last because you all day long." She said, "You just touching stuff and bothering stuff that ain't yours." She said, "You was bad as hell in school."
You active.
But
You
she
were
was like, "Man,
active.
I love it
Definitely.
because you funny as hell."
That's that. I can see you doing a comedian movie. I can see you working with Ice Cube.
I got
I, I
a
definitely can see
comedy.
you working with him.
I got a comedy that's gonna come out soon called "Get Rich or Laugh Trying," and I'm a
Oh,
lead in it. The producer is the person. I don't know if you heard of Get You Some Rich Friends Clothing.
I would have to look it up. I haven't heard of
Yeah,
it.
they real big, and we did a comedy. I'm a lead in that, and when that drop, everybody gonna be like, "Yeah, I knew it, I knew it."
So, if there's one piece of advice you could leave with someone that is getting into the industry, what would you tell them? Or trying to pursue into the industry, what would you tell them?
Take acting classes. that's the best information I can give them because I can tell you can tell when somebody doesn't. Now, don't get me wrong. It's some people that never have taken acting class and are good, but the
Mm-hmm.
majority have to because what they teach in acting class is like me and you talking right now. If we
Mm-hmm.
recorded this on TV, we're acting, right?
Yeah.
But then it comes to the little things like if I'm looking at you, or I'm kind of looking through you. I
Mm-hmm.
can look at you and I can look at you and look through you too.
Yeah.
Um, when you got multi cameras, you can do a little more moving. But if you notice when two people are doing dialogue on a series that's serious, they do not that much moving. Their eyes kind of. But when you're in the independent world, you see the movies on Tubi. It'd be a serious movie. They'd be like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But those are the things you have to learn before you get to the next level, and that's why acting classes are so important.
So would you say acting that's the best advice you say you can give too is like doing the act get into acting classes. Like what is the difference between being like okay before doing your lines before being on set? Like how does that go? How does that process go?
As far as me remember a
Do
line,
that critique do they critique you before they say action or like how does that go?
no, it's just you gotta be on your p's and q's. For me, like some people have to sit with a script a long time. Me, I usually and it's bad to say, but I usually read it a couple of days before I film, because usually if I'm reading it a long time before, I'll have another script for something else that I got to read, and they'll kind of,
Collab.
interchange
Yeah.
between each other. But I remember by quick reading. Like I can't sit there and read one page for like 5 minutes. I, and then it'll come like that.
Yeah.
So everybody has a different way of remembering things. Also, this is another piece of advice I would tell actors is you have to remember the scene. Like
Mm-hmm.
remembering the words are the least. If you're in the scene, whatever you say, like you every time I've seen Samuel Jackson film, he never says what's on that paper.
Mm.
He says close to it, but how can you tell him what to say? All you can do is write the script. You really can't tell him what to say, excuse me, tell him what to say because he's inside of that character. Once you're
Yeah.
inside of the character, they damn near can't even write you in no more. They just be like, okay, this is the situation because now that you're in the character, you know how they think, you know how they move. So
You know what it's
it's that.
based on. Basically, you're no longer yourself. You're basically then put yourself into the character that you're playing.
hmm And just putting yourself into the scene. Just say you're reading a script and you forget a line.
Mm.
If you remember the actions, those lines will come back to you. If you know the next thing he's about to do is do something with his hand, you know what you're supposed to. You probably think about what you're gonna say next. So once you know the scene, that'll help you remember the lines if you forget them.
Okay, okay. What
It's all staying in the
you
moment.
have next coming up? Can you tell everybody where to find you at on your platforms and let them know like what's next for you?
On Instagram, it's Cashmere on set. ITSKASHMIRONSET. It's Cashmere on set, and that's for TikTok and Instagram. On Facebook, it's Cashmere Satchel Jarrett. Um, Get Rich or Laugh Trying, that comedy will be coming out soon. I just filmed a TV series called Passport Poppy as a detective.
Mm-hmm.
I got another series coming out called Married to the Game. I filmed tomorrow for something called The Glass House. Um, I have another movie coming out called Caplana that I'm in, and probably a gang more that I've already filmed and just forgot about because I film and keep it moving. So, and I'm also The Rock has a new movie coming out. I think it's a children's movie. I'm his stand-in for like 2 months, and I'll start that this week. So I'll be with The Rock for like 2 months.
You excited about that?
Oh, definitely. I'm always learning stuff on those big sets. You learn stuff. You learn different lingos. You just learn etiquette. You learn a lot of stuff. and you
Okay.
get to
Do you
be personal with you get to be. I can like be in a stand-in and a double. I get to be personal and sit down and talk to them.
mm-hmm.
It happened with Will Smith. I was his stand-in when he did the movie where he changed faces and he was fighting himself, Gemini Man, and he don't even have background, and we was just there all day just talking until he got up and got in the scene and cried. He cried, wiped his
Wow.
face, came back out, talked to me, went back in, cried again, came back out, talked to me, went back in, cried again and talked to me. I said, this brother is
That's
amazing.
amazing. That is amazing to be with the greats. To be able
Yeah.
to experience to be on set with the greats. That's an amazing feeling. Like to be in a room with them. Like they Will
And
Smith
it's
is
not just being in the room with them because it's people that's been in a room with them everywhere for some reason. I'm not even gonna say some reason. I attract people.
mm,
They always end up talking to me, and it be times where the cast will be like, you can't talk to them," and they'll be like, "Well, I walked up on him." They actually come and talk to me. Anybody I've been on set, but that's famous. One time I was with John Travolta. He way up here in the stands. He looked down at me and pointed at me and waved. I'm like, I'm looking around. He was like, "You," and then he spoke three more times. The dude next to me was like, "You know him?" I said, "I've never met John Travolta in my life." I attract people to speak
wow.
to me and talk to me, bro. I have an energy that attracts people to speak and talk to me. That's
That's
one of my
good.
gifts.
That's that's real good because that means they say you are what you attract.
Mhm.
This is your calling. This is your gift. This is what God gave to you.
And
You
who's
might like
gonna
you said
forget
that.
Cashmere, the name?
Yeah.
I've even on set, I'll walk in the second day. They look at me like, "Oh, Cashmere, who's gonna forget that name?" So that's a hey. I was just blessed. My dad blessed me with a good name, and God blessed me with a good personality.
That's it. If you had something, if you, what legacy would you like to leave for the industry to know you as?
Just a good actor. I definitely want to leave as a good actor. I also want to be in some films that'll be for the black community. I want to be in all type of movies, but I definitely want to be in some that would affect us. But then I want to be in Transformers. I want to jump and roll over cars too. So I want to be in scary movies. I want to be scared, looking like I'm about to get killed. I want to be in everything. But I
So
just
you
definitely
want
want
to know
to just
you
leave
as,
a legacy of being a good actor.
yeah, I was just want to say a good actor and be known like you played everything.
Right.
You played everything that it could be the scary, the optimistic, the different things. So
Hmm.
that's what you would like to leave. Okay. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Um, Not really. But I do want to thank you for even allowing me to be on your platform.
That's a first.
Yeah, definitely.
No questions for me?
Uh, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay. I like
Okay,
it.
what do you do besides this?
Um, I work at the city of Houston. As like a park ranger, but other than that, I don't.
So you're in
Right?
Houston.
Yeah, I'm in Houston, Texas.
Oh, okay. See, I need to find some casting directors out there because my brother stay in Killeen. It's easy to get to Houston. Yeah, love
Yeah,
Houston.
I'm in
I
Houston.
got caught there when they had that last hurricane. I got caught there for like 2 weeks.
Oof, don't talk about flooding.
Mm,
Don't talk about flooding because every time it rain, it flood down here. Yes. But nah, I write and then like I work. That's what I do. I'm a full time mother. I have 4 children. So yeah,
okay.
not too much of busy, but yeah, I love what I do.
Yeah, I thought you when I'm looking at your background, I thought you was an actress. I'm like, okay, she playing two different people. Okay, she getting it in. She playing Tamisha and Lachey.
No, they okay. So look, Tamisha is the little girl. That's my first name. That's
Mhm,
why whenever you see the Zoom, it says Tamisha Wolf.
mhm.
That's my first name. Lachey is the woman that I have become. This is
Okay,
my poem, so it's gonna be like the cover of my biography. because
So
I'm
you
writing my
writing a
article.
book?
Yeah, I have 4 books already published on Amazon.
Oh, you need to turn those into movies.
And then I keep getting it. I like I say, it's coming. It just
The
that
best
takes.
fans in the world are female fans. Trust me. Most shows out here that's making it and becoming number one, it's not us watching it. It's not dudes. We watch it, but females, they watch it and they get online and talk about it. You make them into movies. Most people are doing that anyway. Most people have books out for years now. Like they're like, okay, well, let me turn this old book into a movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm. It's in the making of doing it, but it comes with funds. It comes with different stuff. So
Hmm.
it's just the process of doing that and getting in contact with people. I have
Like,
stuff in the making, but it's just like the funds is really like you gotta, yeah, you gotta understand you still like a regular. You're a single mother, and you doing it. You're trying to do that, but it costs money to do this. It
yeah,
ain't no. Yeah, it's not okay. I can just up and do it, but I'm in the process of it. I have somebody looking into it and turn it into a movie,
like
but it's
that's
just
already dope because you start the movie off saying, okay, this to me, Tamisha, when the person y'all used to know. But it'd be dope if by the time you was Lashay, you looked totally different. So the people who used to know you as a kid would be like, oh girl,
that's
I met
not
this.
that's the goal. That's the goal. That's why you see if you see the little child and you see but Tamisha, you see the little child, you see the broken stuff. But for
Mm,
Lachey, you see the woman with the crown on her head that know her worth. So this is a whole new woman. Y'all don't see the girl who y'all used to see. This is not the same person. This is
they
a whole
shouldn't
different
even know
person.
who Lashay is. Like people who know you would be like, not know you friend wise, but people who probably know you
Yeah.
from school, and they'd be like, oh Lashay, and then they'd be like, hold up, that's Tamisha from school, like a
Yeah.
whole flip around. Yeah.
That's and
Dope.
that's the goal of it, It's more of have a little drama, but it's more of like, okay, look, that's her. That's the same girl. That's her. No, that's not.
Hmm.
That's a whole different person. So that's
Yeah.
why I put the Tamisha versus the Lachey because it's like, this is like, this is reality. This is who I am now. I'm not the person who y'all met. And that goes for anything in past relationships or anything. Like I'm not her no more. I'm not this person no more. You can't
Right.
run over the person you ran over. You can't run over Lachey like you ran over Tamisha.
Right.
So it's a whole different ball game. But
Mm,
yeah,
that's
definitely with
dope.
my books that's out, the part one of it is a part two
Hmm.
of the first book that I have. It's hard to love, hard to deal with. If you love me, you're a real one. That's part one, but I have a part two coming out. It's just the process with my publishing company. It's a lot going on, but that's supposed to be coming out soon. So I mean, it's really intriguing. Like, but this bio gonna take a little while because, when you writing stories about your life, you have to go
Hmm.
back into times that you just be like, I don't
Yeah.
want to remember that dark place, but it makes it more interesting for people to watch or read.
Right.
But
Right.
it's a lot of I'm gonna send you my books, but it's like a lot of, I feel like those would make good movies. They would, but like I say, it's the process of the money wise and different things like that. Like you
Hmm.
said, people think just because you're doing this, oh, you rich. No, I just reach out to people, and they say yes, and I say thank you. People think that you got all this kind of money, and you really don't. You just in reality, you're just trying to get to another point in your life, where you do have it there. That's the goal.
Yep.
So yeah, that's me. I work.
Right.
I will be in school in August, going back to the next semester in August. So yeah, work, school, mother. That's about all.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yep. I'm just a regular person, but I love the opportunity to interview with people like you guys. It gives me hope, and it gives me a lot of like, okay, keep going. Because you're not there yet, but you will get there eventually. You can't stop just because you ain't there yet. Like you said, you're gonna get a lot of no's.
Hmm.
So I've got a lot of no's already. So I mean, hey, the sky's the limit. That's how I feel.
Yeah. And we all regular people. Even the famous people are regular people.
Exactly. That's what people fail to realize. They still have problems going on. They still have things going on. Y'all just don't get to see it unless the TMZ put it out there.
Right.
But they regular people, we still regular people. That's why I don't get on here and be like, okay, what's going on in your life, all in your business, because that's not my business yet. Y'all get enough of that.
Mhm.
Y'all get enough
Right.
of that. Nobody want to keep telling y'all what's going on in their life and oh, what you got going. Oh no, that ain't my business.
Right.
Let's just get on here and talk about what you're gonna succeed in, what you've been through, your journey and stuff like that. Let's talk about the positive things and not the negative things. That's my
Hmm.
platform is based on it, like positivity, no negativity. If you go back and watch all my videos, it's positivity, nothing negative. You don't want to keep, oh yeah, this is an, but you don't want to be. They say you don't want to be boring, but hey, look, you know how many people connections I'm getting connect with. You put yourself out there and you don't talk about, you don't ask about their personal life. So many people want to come because you're not basing it on my personal life. You're just trying to
Right.
have a good conversation with me. That's
Right.
all.
Right.
We're just talking good conversation. Ain't nothing like that. You don't get that no more. The world's
No,
too
you
fake to be
don't.
authentic.
You don't at all.
You really don't. It's not. It ain't the same no more. Just they put out what they can get out of you. They put out the bad stuff before they put out the good stuff. As I was talking to somebody yesterday, you'll know something bad happened to this person before you know the good things that they do. That's based off the charity work that they do, the things that they help back to the community. You don't put that out there.
Right.
You put out the bad before you put out the good. So yeah, that's kind of like what my platform is based off of. Just real talk, real good conversation, and just getting to know y'all, like sharing y'all journeys and y'all stories that people don't know of. Let's really get to know them before we get to try to judge them or talk
Right.
about their personal lives. Yeah,
Right.
that's how you build relationships. That's how you build your business up. Because you don't never know who that one person is that can help you get to where you need to be.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You're right about that one.
that's one thing.
That's
That's
why
just
I help anybody that asks me for help. I help out because you never know. First of all, I'm a good person and don't mind out giving out information. But you
yeah,
also don't know, like the person you giving information to might get on quicker than you. But see, a
exactly.
lot of people have a problem with somebody else getting on before them. And that to me, that's so
Always,
selfish. That's selfish
always.
because
That's why they
it
want to
might not
help.
be your time, but maybe you help somebody else get to their time, and you don't. Nah, I should be where he at. Yeah. No,
Mhm.
but if you should be where he at, you would be
You'll
there.
be there.
God don't
The
make
hate is
mistakes. He'll just wait
real.
till your time. But I help anybody. I give anybody information. If you're better for it than me, go ahead.
The hate is real. Like for real, they don't want to see the next person win. But at the end of the day, when it's your time, it's your time. How
And
about you just
also to
congratulate
me,
them?
that's people that's not confident. That means if they make it,
Yeah,
you think, well, I might not make it because they made it. See, if you confident enough, I'll be like, bro, I'll see you when I get there.
exactly. Instead of hating, like one thing I never could understand about our race is we so hateful and jealous because this person got here and I'm here and but it wasn't your time yet. How about you congratulate them? And when you do get there, say thank you, Lord, because you don't know what that person had to go through to get there. And that's the problem. We
Mhm.
so worried about what this person got, but you don't know what they had to go through. You don't know what they had to sacrifice. You don't know their story.
Right.
Just stay in your own lane. When you learn to stay in your own lane, the world will be a better place for everybody just to stay in their own lane.
Yeah.
What God has for you, He has for you. What's for you is for you. What's not for you, not for you. Hey, how about you call up and say, congratulations, friend. I'm glad you made it. That's one thing about me.
Right.
I ain't never been a hater.
And it don't take energy to show love. It take more energy to hate than it does to show love.
Exactly. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of that and for me, it's like when I see people moving on and doing stuff good, like I just be like, congratulations, because like I know eventually one day I'm gonna be there. Like, why hate?
Hmm.
That's like the biggest thing, and that's the biggest thing. It's so much hate because this person getting this person. Okay, congratulations, congratulations. It just take a simple congratulations, and not to be hateful and spiteful. You know, it's already enough hate going on this way. Why you add more to it?
Right. And that's why
Why you can't
everybody's
just be the
not
light?
famous. That's why it's only a certain amount of people. It might be a lot of people famous, but that's still a small percentage of the world because
Exactly.
you got to have that in you. You got to not be that type of person.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why, like you say, it's a select few that is like up there, but you don't see them hating on nobody. They get there because they worked.
Hmm.
They work. You gotta work to get where you want to be. You have to work. You can't just overnight get famous.
Right.
You gotta work. It takes work behind this. It takes work. You gonna get up every day and you gonna work. You gotta work. You don't work, you don't eat.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So you gotta
And if
work.
you
It's
don't
not
work,
an
faith don't even work if you don't work. Praying don't work
exactly.
unless you put the work into it. So,
Exactly. Faith without works is dead.
right.
Yeah, you got faith, but what are you doing? What are you doing? What work are you doing behind it? You gotta have faith, but guess what? You gotta move on that faith as well.
I see it like this: like everybody in the world is asking God for a favor. So why don't you help him along by doing something that he can be like, oh, well, here you go. You just need a little nudge.
Exactly. Exactly. He ain't no microwavable God. Like
Right.
what? Yeah, y'all asking for it, but what are y'all doing? What are
Right.
you doing? Why do you want him to bless you? What are you doing? What are you
Hmm.
doing? Are you lined up? Are you doing what you're supposed to do? And something like you say, they want to. You ask God for so many favors, but you gotta look in the mirror and see where your life at. What you doing? What are you doing?
Hmm.
What are you doing? How about you just say thank you, Lord, for where I'm at, and then get me to the process. Help me through the
Right.
process. I'm on the process instead of just having your hand out all the time.
Amen.
Having your hand out, it's real.
Hmm.
Yeah. But thank you so much. I did send you my books to your Instagram where you can
Okay.
check them out, and they on Amazon, so you can read them. Like they 9.99, but they're like Amazon give you like, or you can read if you have the app. You can read them. And thank you so much for just taking your time out the day to come up on my platform and just talk to me and share your journey with me. I'm honored and I'm grateful. Thank you so much.
No problem. Again, thank you for having me on your platform.
Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful day.
You too.